what are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
the lowest.
I'm the lowest.
You're
Your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows.
Smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Wait a minute. Remember when everyone thought the whole Epstein situation was only going to end with big names like Diddy and Jay-Z getting exposed for shady business? Well, the story people are whispering about now sounds even darker. Reports have started popping up claiming that some young actors and actresses trying to break into Hollywood were pushed into disturbing situations behind the scenes.
Very appreciative of the response people are giving, and people saying they love the show, they love the music, and they're feeling very inspired from the characters.
Meet Bryshere Gray, 21-year-old actor and rapper, and is one of the fresh faces on Fox's hit show Empire.
When I was 16 years old, me and my mom would pack up a small Camry car, and we would drive to Michigan, and we'll drive to Wisconsin and stuff like that, and I'll go perform for high schools for free.
Some insiders even claim certain rising stars were sent to powerful people or exclusive private locations in exchange for career opportunities. One name that keeps coming up in these rumors is Bryshere Gray. The timing has people talking because many say his behavior seemed to change dramatically while the show Empire was still being filmed. According to people close to the production, Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson allegedly tried to step in and help Bryshere when they noticed things were getting rough. But some claim the situation had already gone too far by then. For years, comedians and industry voices like Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle have warned about the hidden price some entertainers are asked to pay by powerful gatekeepers in the business. Dave Chappelle even spoke publicly about walking away from a massive $50 million deal because he didn't feel comfortable with what he was seeing around him. He said he watched what happened to other entertainers who accepted certain offers, and it made him feel like he could be next on the chopping block. Now Bryshere's name keeps coming up again because people say parts of his story still don't fully add up. Some critics argue Hollywood isn't to blame at all, claiming Bryshere was reportedly dealing with personal struggles even before landing the role of Hakeem on Empire. According to that view, he expected the show's huge success to open many doors, but things changed when the Jussie Smollett scandal rocked the series and the show ended sooner than expected.
Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy, they're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick. Newsweek, it's a very credible magazine. And they're saying, maybe I smoke crack, and it was all innuendo. And then the magazine is credible as Newsweek. I was very surprised that this was happening. And the higher up I go, for some reason...
That moment, some say, is when everything started falling apart. But others point out another detail that doesn't get mentioned as much. His public struggles seem to appear not long after his mentorship connections with Will Smith, and later Diddy, reportedly came to an end. That timing has sparked even more speculation. Singer Jaguar Wright has spoken very loudly about the situation. She claims Bryshere's support system slowly disappeared around him, including people close to him, which made it easier for critics to label him as unstable or difficult once he stepped away from certain circles. And Jaguar wasn't the only one raising concerns. Actor and choreographer Darren Henson, known from the Soul Food series on Showtime, also said he tried to warn Bryshere early in his career. He explained that when Bryshere was younger and just stepping into the spotlight, he told him to be careful in the industry because once someone gets pulled into certain situations, very few people will stand up to protect them. Henson shared a blunt warning. People will talk about you when you're rising, and they'll talk about you again when you're falling. The only real protection is watching your own back because nobody else will do it for you. Cat Williams has echoed similar stories from his own early days in entertainment. He once mentioned that powerful figures tried to pressure him into uncomfortable situations when he was still new to the business. The difference, he said, was that he refused and quickly removed himself from those environments. And that brings things back to what Taraji reportedly hinted at. Some believe Bryshere's downward spiral may not just be about personal struggles, but also about how tightly controlled the entertainment industry can be once someone becomes part of it. And according to what Taraji allegedly suggested, the responsibility points straight at Will and Jada Smith.
People say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. This thing before the thing came out, but he offered to something. Agency. What am I supposed to do?
The story traces back to when Bryshere Gray's manager, Charlie Mack, introduced him to Will Smith and Diddy as part of what was described as a mentorship opportunity. Were extremely close, so close that Will were extremely close, so close that Will even released a song called Charlie Mack First Out the Limo. That alone shows just how tight their bond really was. So when Charlie Mack brought Bryshere into the circle with Will and Diddy, the story being told at the time sounded like a dream come true. The idea was that Bryshere was about to rise straight to the top of Hollywood with some of the most powerful names in entertainment guiding him. But critics now question whether the mentorship was really what it appeared to be behind closed doors. Some people say Bryshere's later struggles came out of nowhere. But others argue that when you look at the powerful figures surrounding him, maybe the outcome shouldn't have shocked anyone. Diddy has long been known as a major force in the music and entertainment business. At the same time, rumors about his personal life and how he treated people in the industry have circulated for years. Those rumors often suggested he used his influence to control situations and maintain power. Even talk show host Wendy Williams spoke openly about some of these claims years ago. She discussed industry gossip involving Diddy on multiple occasions, and many fans believe that speaking so boldly may have played a role in the tension that later surrounded her career at Hot 97.
Did you get fired for making fun of Puffy?
Yeah, by Hot 97. I had to fight a lawsuit. You know what it all came down to? It
came down to gay rappers. That's what it was.
Gay rappers and exposing. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Wendy. And she was on the radio talking all this way back in the day. I've been telling you things for years, but you don't want to hear. So, all right, fine. And I don't understand parents who unleash their kids. Oh, it's just a deeply moving story to me, because I know.
And so you seen the orgies. You seen the people that was the stars and the shit that they was doing. And the smells and the looks in their eyes.
There are also claims floating around that when Bryshere entered certain industry circles, some powerful figures were already dealing with serious scrutiny behind the scenes. However, stories like that often never fully reached the public, leading some people to believe that influence and connections may have kept certain details quiet. Some critics claim the same influence that allegedly kept certain stories quiet in the media was also used to control the people around Bryshere. According to Jaguar Wright, Bryshere's mother, Andrea, was once deeply worried about what was happening to her son and even reached out to her for guidance. Jaguar said she warned Andrea to distance Bryshere from Charlie Mack and the powerful circles connected to Will Smith. But according to Jaguar's version of events, Andrea suddenly backed away from those concerns. After that, Jaguar claims Bryshere remained surrounded by those same industry figures for several more years, while his situation seemed to get worse. And the story gets even more dramatic when you hear what Will Smith's former associate, brother Bilal, has claimed in interviews. Bilal alleged that Charlie Mack wasn't just a close friend of Will Smith, but that their relationship was more personal at times. He also made claims involving actor Dwayne Martin, suggesting complicated dynamics between several people within that circle. These are serious allegations that have circulated online, though they remain unproven. Some commentators believe Bryshere was brought into that same environment while he was still young and trying to figure out his place in Hollywood.
But I uncovered some research that he linked up with Will Smith's manager back in the day from Philly. Yes. And that really started his progress. But how do you know as a mother if your child is linking up with the right people or when you should keep them close or let them go?
Well, we're close. We're a close-knit family. I brought his manager on to help get him to where he is, but I managed him first, and artists developed him, and then we got a call through his manager asking if they had anyone that would want to audition for the role. Once he auditioned, he took off from there.
That was it. Meanwhile, Taraji P. Henson reportedly saw a completely different side of Bryshere during their early days working together on Empire. The two quickly formed a close bond on set. Bryshere was still young and eager to learn, and Taraji often stepped in like a mentor, giving him advice about acting and the pressures that come with fame. She even made small but meaningful gestures, like bringing him food on set or checking in on him to make sure he felt supported. She wanted him to know someone in the room genuinely had his back. But at the time, Taraji was juggling multiple projects and commitments outside the show. Because of that busy schedule, it took some time before she fully realized that Bryshere seemed to be struggling in a deeper way. Changes. Taraji was reportedly one of the changes. Taraji was reportedly one of the first to try reaching out directly to Bryshere. Some even say she attempted to contact his mother, Andrea, hoping the family could step in and help stabilize things. However, there are claims that his mother eventually accepted the explanation that Bryshere was simply dealing with serious mental health challenges. Critics argue that instead of pushing harder to investigate what might have happened, that narrative became the story that spread publicly. What Taraji reportedly came to realize later was that Bryshere might have been tied into contracts, mentorship arrangements, and powerful industry relationships that left him with very little freedom to push back or explain his side of things. When powerful networks control the narrative, it becomes extremely difficult for someone to defend themselves. Taraji could still support him privately, but once the public label around Bryshere began forming, there was only so much she could realistically do from the outside. And now, with ongoing conversations online about powerful figures and secretive industry circles, many people on the internet say they're looking at stories like Bryshere's with fresh eyes. Some supporters of Jaguar Wright even say she has been speaking about these kinds of issues for years. Others argue that young entertainers sometimes enter the industry without strong protection, leaving them vulnerable to powerful systems that can shape their entire story.
Makes mac and cheese, 3 cheese mac and cheese, and brings it to set. Is that true?
Sometimes she do bring food.
So she brings food to the set?
But me personally, for me, her meatloaf is the best.
She brings meatloaf to set? Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes.
What else? Wait, so she's like the real mom on set?
She's like a real mother, you know? It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, learn from Taraji and Terrence, and they're the best in the game, so,
yeah.
You know, it's improving my acting skills as well.
I felt like the industry was pitting us against each other. Like, only one could win at a time, and I always believed that the core of my being is that there's always room for us all. There's room for us to coexist on this earth. So why isn't there enough stories? We have enough stories to tell.
Now, the real question people keep asking is simple. What actually happened to Bryshere Gray? And why does his story still feel like it has so many missing pieces? For a while, Bryshere looked like one of the brightest young stars in Hollywood. His role as Hakeem Lyon on Empire turned him into a household name almost overnight. Fans loved his energy, his music, and the way he brought the character to life on screen. It felt like the start of a huge career that was only going to get bigger. But then things started changing in ways that confused a lot of people watching from the outside. After Empire ended, Bryshere slowly disappeared from the spotlight. Instead of new acting roles and music projects, headlines about personal struggles and legal troubles started popping up. Fans who remembered the confident young star from the show were shocked by how quickly everything seemed to shift. Some people believe the explanation is simple. They say Bryshere was dealing with intense pressure, sudden fame, and personal challenges that became too much to manage. Hollywood can be a brutal place, especially for young entertainers who are thrown into the spotlight before they fully understand the business around them. But others believe there may be more to the story. Over the years, several industry voices have warned that the entertainment world can be full of hidden power structures. According to those critics, young artists sometimes enter powerful mentorship circles thinking they are being guided to success, only to realize later that the system is far more complicated than it first appeared. Whether those claims are true or not, Bryshere's situation continues to raise questions because so many people around him have shared different versions of what they believe happened. Some say the warning signs were there early. Others believe he simply got caught in the harsh reality of fame and the pressure that comes with it. And then there are those who think powerful figures in the industry played a much bigger role than the public will ever fully know. What makes the story even more emotional for fans is remembering how young Bryshere was when everything started. He wasn't a veteran actor who had spent decades navigating Hollywood. He was a rising star, still learning how the industry worked, while millions of people were suddenly watching his every move. Stories like his remind people just how fast fame can change someone's life. One moment, you're the breakout star everyone is talking about, and the next moment, the same spotlight can turn into intense pressure coming from every direction. Even now, supporters continue to hope that Bryshere finds stability and a chance to rebuild his life. Many fans still remember the talent and charisma that made him stand out on Empire in the first place. At the end of the day, the full truth behind everything that happened may never be completely clear. Hollywood is full of rumors, competing narratives, and powerful people who control what gets seen and what stays hidden. But one thing is certain. Bryshere Gray's story has become a powerful reminder of how complicated the entertainment world can be, especially for young stars trying to survive inside it.